the Distinguished Research Professor of Theology, Law, Culture, and Archaeology at Faith International University and Seminary in Tacoma, Washington. He and his wife Irina have taught and directed many tours in the Mediterranean and Middle East, including Israel, Greece, Egypt, Jordan, Italy, and Turkey, particularly with the Biblical Archaeological Society. Dr. House has taught biblical and theological studies at several universities and seminaries during a teaching career of over 50 years and has written 150 articles and 50 books, including the Evangelical Dictionary of World Religions, The Jesus Who Never Lived, Exposing False Christs and Finding the Real Jesus, the Zondervan Handbook of Biblical Archaeology, Israel, the Land and the People, an Evangelical Affirmation of God's Promises, and editor of the Nelson NKJV Study Bible and Nelson New Illustrated Bible Commentary. Dr. House is the general editor of the Evangelical Exegetical Commentary Series, 44 volumes, with logos, Faithlife. It is the knowledge amassed from these experiences, along with the assistance of biblical scholars at a variety of universities and seminaries throughout the world, that provides the information contained in his latest project, the House Visual Study Bible Online. Thank you for joining Archaeology in the Lands of the Bible with Dr. H. Wayne House.
And welcome. And Dr. H. Wayne House is in the house again, along with the Colorado Caffeinated crew. And looks like Jeff's house is here, but Jeff is not with it. I don't know why. So, Dr. House, here he's popping back in. There he is.
Yeah.
Where do we want to begin today, Dr. House?
Got to turn that back on.
Absolutely.
Well, we're gonna do some discussion that we were gonna do last week. I was speaking at a conference in Dallas, and it was just so working to get it together and doing it. And the week I did it, I was so much sick, and I just could not make this last time because it was just too much. I was dead. So you wouldn't have appreciated it. So anyway, I've got Irina with me tonight, my wife. Here she's
Wow.
on the edge of it.
Hello.
Can you see? There you are.
Actually, I came in to say one thing, although I miss y'all. We're having thunderstorms just started, so just
Great, just in time.
when it rains, it pours. But just so you know.
All right. Well, if everything goes kaput, you know that.
You know why?
You know why.
Yep. So if you blink out, we'll let Faber take over.
Faber's just 9 miles from Doc. And a minute ago, you saw I disappeared. I went outside. I heard a long, sustained boom that sounded kind of like an earthquake. And Irina has erased the mystery and confirmed what my wife said it was. So
okay, there you go. I hope it doesn't reach me out here.
I think you're safe right now. Just wait another day or two.
Yeah, probably by tomorrow or something.
Anyway, we're going to talk tonight about archaeology again, but we're going to move into the place of Jordan. Anybody been to Jordan? Okay. There's just two of us. Oh, no.
Just the two of you.
And Jordan is a very interesting nation. I've never had any trouble there. I actually taught at the Jordan Evangelical Theological Seminary in Amman, Jordan, not on a regular basis, but I went there for special times and special weeks in which I did this. And, there's some great cities in northern Jordan. We're not going to cover those tonight. But, you have a place called Jerish, and then you have a place called Umkase. These are names of Gerasah and Gadara in the Bible. And then you have a place called Gergesah, which is on the coast of the Sea of Galilee.
Ouch.
Three that sound very similar. And because Bible translators oftentimes never came to do any looking at the land of Israel or other biblical lands before they did translation, they have not a clue as to what might actually be accurate or not. So you have those three variations in different translations. And the accurate one is the place called Gergesah, and I could show you where the pigs went down if you come. But I know they didn't go to a place 20 miles away up north looking for the Sea of Galilee.
Oh.
And so those are things. It helps to do archaeology if you know something about the sites.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we were going to do Jordan, and so I'm going to do some things. I may have a picture or two of that. I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, right now we're picking up on the SIQ. So we're in Petra pretty much for the rest of the evening, I think.
What does that mean?
That means the slides I have are Petra slides.
Yes, right.
But they're not too hard, so they're not petrified yet.
No.
I know we're doing Petra tonight. All I was going to say was this, is that there might be a slide or two. Maybe I put it in there. I couldn't remember. So we're going to focus on Petra. Anybody been to Petra? Probably not if you haven't been to Jordan. Oh, right. You've been to Petra, Don.
I have been to Petra, yeah.
Oh, that's in Jordan. So you have been to Jordan.
Accidentally, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Are you suggesting that you travel around and don't know where you are?
Well, I was with a tour guide, and I just obey. They say go here, and I go there. That's what I do.
There you go.
And there I go. They say go here, and there I go. That's
wandering in the wilderness.
All right.
Wherever you go, there you are.
Tonight, let's see. I'm not sure. I have to take a look at it. We're going to do with Petra tonight, but I'm thinking since next week is dealing with what day is next week is
23rd.
Christmas.
No, I'm just trying to think.
23rd. We'd be together on 23rd.
Yeah. What is the day of Christmas?
Tuesday. Oh, well, it's 2 days before.
Yeah.
I think I might take a theme of dealing with some of the things that relate to Bethlehem.
That'd be great.
Because we're going to be at Christmas, and then we'll go back next time to some more things in Jordan.
Yeah, there was a kind of a famous rabbi that was born in Bethlehem, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who was he? And so
people call him Yeshua or something.
So we're gonna go ahead and deal with Jordan, but we're talking about Petra tonight. And next week I want to go back to Bethlehem, and then eventually we'll get back to Jordan again, because I think it'd be appropriate to do that. Also to clarify some problems of that next week. We'll do a look at the Church of the Nativity. We'll look at things around Bethlehem, and I'll explain a number of things to you, tell you some history on the time of the early 2nd century, and other things we'll discuss.
Mm-hmm.
And Jerome has a lot to do with Bethlehem, and we'll talk about him too. So let's move on. Let's get to the slides of the sick. I'm joking there. It's called a seek, but you're not sick at the seek.
Oh.
Now, what you're encountering right there is the actual beginning of a long, almost totally covered, but not quite, like tunnel. But this, above you you have the mountain sort of squeezes in all the way through, and this is what is called the seek. Now, this is not the beginning, and we may have some pictures of a place before you get to the seek. If we do, I'll tell you about it. Anybody know Robbie Dean? Anybody know? I know I do, and Favorite does. Okay. I've got a picture of him, and I think also me riding horses out there, but maybe we don't have it, but you're too far ahead. So the seek is an area. Okay, now here, see there
we are.
We have me on a horse, if you can believe it.
Okay.
And the thing is, in the seek, you can walk into it, you can ride a buggy into it, or you can ride a horse into it. There's different ways to do it. You know, in Indiana Jones and what was that? That the Last Crusade?
No. That was in, wasn't it the first one?
No. The first.
Oh, the Last Crusade you were talking about.
The Petra thing is when he found the
actual
Christ.
Yeah, that's right.
Whichever one that is, you know, he rode in and out on a horse. Although I'm going to show you the mistake in the movie. So anyway, that's me on a horse.
Mistakes in a movie? You're kidding.
I'm sorry. I know I'm going to. Now there's a buggy. You can do a buggy.
Oh, nice buggy.
Usually give some kind of gift or something to the guys that take you in and out.
Okay.
But anyway, that's that. But the seek is where, generally speaking, I think I've never actually rode all the way into the seek. I've ridden around outside, but the seek is an interesting place to walk because you're surrounded by these rocks. Talking about Petra, I want to mention the fact that you need to read the book of Obadiah to understand Petra. Petra was the land of the
Nabateans.
Nabateans later. Yes, you're right. Nabateans, correct.
Before that,
Before then, you had the
wait up.
Amorites, maybe?
Edomites.
Edomites.
That's who Obadiah is talking to. And I'll tell you something funny. I was taking a class with a guy by the name of Billy P. Smith, one of the best teachers I've had. He was a wonderful teacher in Hebrew and stuff. And that was the same time that we were actually shooting, I think, first time to the moon. America was going to the moon around that time. And we were studying because there's a statement in Obadiah that says that even though these people that actually had been against Israel and had persecuted Israel, that these people, even though they make their posts and their places to be and dwell above the mountains area, that God would bring them down. There's a statement in Obadiah, something very similar to that. You may make yourself up high, but I'll bring you down. He's talking about Petra there. And a woman in the newspaper came out at that time and said that we would never make it to the moon because of the book of Obadiah says that we may try to make our place in the heavens, or that God would bring us down, so we couldn't get to the moon.
Right.
I just thought you'd like to see how people interpret the Obadiah passage.
That's one way not to do it.
But it doesn't really relate to the history of this account. There's something else important to tell you about. It was true that in the time of past the Edomites and the Nabatean times, you had a guy called Herod the Great, who had a little blood from that area as well as in the Jewish blood. So he was always viewed with pretty well disdain among most of the Jews. He was not pure blood, so to speak. But what happened is that the people living in that period in that particular area had a pretty good protection from people. Even the Romans could not take them at that point, the way they did their military. But what they did, they cut off their routes of food and caravans and so forth. So they basically starved them out, so to speak. So that's sort of these are just some tidbits to throw in because we're going to be looking at it. It's an interesting area. Now that right there actually is farther into Petra. You'd have to walk a ways into Petra to see that, but to take a look at it, it's important. It's amazing how people could get in and use their rough instruments of carving and hammering and so forth, and be able to create things looking like this. Of course, this is after a couple thousand years or so.
Sure.
So these were mainly they were not like places that you lived as such. These are mainly places of tombs and so forth, people being buried. That's not entirely true, but there's much of that. And you can see the little columns on the left. And these are fascinating. That's just one among many that are there. Let's look at another one.
They also have like altars and temples kind of thing.
Well, they have something like that farther up, and this area right here. That's looking at the Sikh from an odd angle. I don't know if I made that or not.
You looking up or what?
But isn't it interesting to see the kind of what's in that the rock structure,
the formations? Yeah.
A lot of these are very, very sandy like, but you have this wonderful sand. This is the only place on earth I've told people you ought to take your camera into the restroom.
So we get a better view of this if we laid out our side and looked at it, maybe.
I don't know what's happened there. I don't know what took place in my picture taking. But here, I didn't finish my. Go back to the.
Okay. There you go.
This is where I tell people to take a camera into the restroom. The reason why is because it's not that I'm a weird person, at least. But if you go in there, the structure of all these, how the rocks are and the colors and the dark inside these restrooms at Petra are phenomenal. How the intermixture of the various elements that come inside the thing. You won't see many places like that.
Nope.
So we'll move on to the next. Now this is a wide area, and you see various things in here. I don't know if you can notice. It's a big area to walk in. It takes a while to walk in and out of Petra. That's why a lot of people like to buggy the camels and things of that sort. But all the way through, you look across the whole way of the open space there, and you see something, I'm not even sure what it is, to the left looks like sort of a
Oh,
building of some sort.
yeah,
But actually, if you look back in there very closely, you'll see the kind of columns,
yeah.
the openings. All those things largely are areas and tombs.
Mm.
Attention. Now, they had people living there, but there are some places that you can go as you move farther down. If you were to say, wherever that building looking thing is, and sort of move down the road, you see columns.
Mm-hmm.
Move, eventually, that takes you through an opening where you have an entrance. And then you have some temples and you have places to go to. And you also, they have a place, if you want, it takes about 1,000 steps up, I think, to go up to the place of the later period when people actually had like a place of devotion and work up there it's not really a church per se, but something like that. So you can see that it's quite a mountainous area. It's not like Romans were used to doing, because they tend to operate on a field. You know what I'm saying? They would have the columns that actually were taught to them by Alexander, is the one that started that, in which you would have like a tank moving toward people. You'd have shields up and shields around, and you protected yourself.
Right.
You would have a group of people, but this area was much more complicated than that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I remind you of is Antiochus Epiphanes. He was.
Who did you say?
Antiochus Epiphanes.
Oh, yeah. The one that went and desecrated the temple, right?
He did, and he was actually one of the generals of Alexander.
Yes, you're right.
But his big desire was to convert the Jewish people to Greek. You know, to think like Greek, talk like Greek, dress like Greek. He was
like a Greek.
Very hard, and he was offering, remember, the sacrifice on the altar that brought the ire of the priest, who was in fact the father of a guy that we know later in history called Judas the Hammerer.
Maccabeus.
Judas Maccabeus, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so Antiochus started that kind of practice, and what they did, they started using an alternative. If you have it in there, Americans learned this too against the Brits. If you are outnumbered and you have a very strong fighting force, if you can come up with an alternative that's a skirmish, or where you hide in the forest and you shoot from behind the trees, and
guerrilla warfare.
Also, yes, and that's what Judas did. The Hammerer, what he did, they fought guerrilla warfare, and they were higher in some of the mountain areas.
Sure.
And so what happened is that when they came through there, they would throw things down on them, like spears and arrows, and Antiochus didn't last too long there trying to fight Judas. I don't know if you've ever read much into that, but it's interesting of what was going on. And that Greek general did not succeed in his goals. But you had a little different treatment that went down in Egypt. So they didn't move into that kind of pushing people into a certain viewpoint. So they had more success in that case. Now, let's keep moving through the slides there if you have them. And we'll talk more about it. You've already seen that. Now, that's a good view of sort of how it looks when you're walking through the Sikh. S-I-Q, that's walking through the Sikh. But I want you to notice something. There's something on the left side of this, and a little bit on the right too, and you can't see it as well. What do you think that is on these rocks?
Oh, the grooves for water, water channels.
This is the same kind of thing that happens at Masada. Anybody been to Masada?
I have.
Okay, you've been to Masada. That's up that big mountain that Herod, had his stuff up in his palaces. Herod the Great was a great builder, I think, mainly because he liked to build things to be sure that he didn't get taken over.
Yeah.
All through the country, he's building these things, places to run to in case there's a revolt.
Yeah, well.
And so Masada's one, but he didn't live there apparently. But if you go to Masada, you'll see these kind of grooves all the way around the mountain. And when it eventually gets to places where you have an opening, in which you have these caverns, a reservoir of a sort, where the water all forms, and you think, how would you actually fill up that thing? But really, in the desert, at a certain time of the year when it really rains, and I mean rains and rains, it actually sort of pretty well fills up those. They had 7, I think, around Masada.
Cisterns.
Yeah, cisterns. Yeah, they had cisterns, and the water came down these channels from the sky and went into the cisterns and filled these things up. I think they had 7 that filled up. That way, you had water to drink all year, and you could also. It helps in time under siege.
Yes.
So this is what this is. These are water channels that go all the way down to the place where you actually exit the Sikh. And you'll see some more of these, but I just want you to know what that is.
Yeah.
It's not as though these things are just straight up. They are sort of bent. The formations, I don't know exactly, how these things form. I don't have that understanding, but nonetheless, it's a very interesting. I never mind walking through there. It's usually, even if it's hot, it's sort of what's shaded.
Yeah. So
How far back, Dr. House, does it go in there before you come to? I mean, give us some context. I don't know if this thing is 8 miles deep or is it?
No, it's not that. It's hard for me to judge. Let me try to sort of, it's a few blocks long, so to speak. It'd be
Okay. All right.
Maybe 2 or 3 blocks or so, maybe 4. I don't know, but it's not a real long thing. It takes maybe 10 minutes to walk through this.
Okay.
But usually you stop along the way and look at things. You look up and there are certain things there. We'll see another thing or two as we go in. Now, this right here is a picture of something you're already out of the Sikh at this picture. But I want you to still notice the structures of these mountains around, these stone structures that are formed. Now, if you were to turn to the right there, you would actually see that famous place where Indiana Jones went into, and you had the little thing that cuts people's heads off, and you walk across this mountain area where between the 2 sections that is invisible. And you across, you get there's a guy inside there.
The fun stuff, yeah.
Well, see, the way they do that in the movie, it looks quite different than what it is in reality. I have gone through this as far as you can. You can't go that far, like in Jones. But these are all not temples. They are places that are sepulchres. They are places of burial and so forth. So they do have a large, and I hope we see it. They do have a large theater that builds into the mountains, and we'll get to that and talk about when we get to it. But now this is something. This is again. Well, you're getting fairly close to the end of it. According to where you're from, it could be the beginning if you're coming back.
Right.
But this actually keeps eroding. I've seen it better than this.
Oh,
that's interesting.
Did the guy lose his head or something?
Right. Well, this guy here he's just kind of fading. He's becoming the invisible man.
Sort of like Jeff.
And what you see to the left of him is, I believe, intended to be a camel that was there.
Oh, is that what it was?
And the camel, and then you have the man coming in.
Oh, okay.
But there's also another one of the channels for water.
Oh, yeah, right down behind the camel, or what's left of it.
But remember, I told you earlier, some portions of this Petra, which, it looks monuments and it's difficult to obviously knock stuff around, but it's a sandstone, and I don't understand that very much. But you come over here, you could actually take, if you had something in your hand, you could sort of chop that off pretty easy.
Yeah, it's very soft, I think.
Yeah. But that's this place where you have the guy coming in. Now you're at the end of the Sikh.
Yeah.
And you've seen this probably in all sorts of pictures.
Yep. It's called the treasury, isn't it? As they call it.
Well, they call it the treasury, and the reason for that is maybe for 2 reasons. Probably in Indiana Jones, would cross across the sky there, to the other side.
Yeah.
You did have some nice goblets and so forth to take home.
Yeah. Okay.
But this is a treasury because years and years people thought that this actually was a treasury, and they actually there's tons of bullet holes, and you probably see, in which people actually would shoot at these things because they thought that may have been where the treasure. So they kept trying to open it up because you could go inside of it and look around. You won't see any treasure chest.
Oh.
But they began to think that maybe the actual treasury is somehow connected to the front of the building in the high portion.
They thought it was embedded in the rock or something?
Yeah. Now, if you'll look just a second, see at the bottom there, those are people standing up. That gives you a feel for the height.
Yeah.
That's maybe 20 people high or something like that.
Yeah. I think it says, I looked it up, it says about 260 feet to 330 feet high.
High. Yeah, it's pretty good. Of course, that's not the top of it right there.
No.
Where you can see, you can stack up people up there.
Oh, yeah. And it's according to the internet, it's roughly about 3/4 of a mile long, the entrance. About 20 to 30 minutes to get through it.
That long? I don't think it ever took us that long.
They said if you're walking at a relaxed pace, so maybe you guys weren't relaxed.
If you're stopping and looking around, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm not good at this. Somebody can tell me how many blocks would that maybe be?
About 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah, I said maybe 10 blocks or so. I don't know.
Well, depending on, I know in Chicago it was every 8 blocks was a mile. So
Not too far off then.
Yeah, maybe 6 blocks or so.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's keep moving through. We're going to get to the treasury here, and that's not it. So I'm still going to get to the treasury. These are not in the right order.
Okay.
But it's important to see something here that I can tell you about. See there, it's like a place you climb.
Oh yeah.
It is an area because on the other side of what you see here, you can actually, and I've done this last time I went to Petra. I thought I'm going to do this because I've never done it a number of times. I actually took my group on the other side around the mountains and to the other side of this, and over there's also I looked at things like the big treasury, and they're selling their goods. It's a smaller version of what you see over here on this side, and they actually have a place that's almost like a ladder you can climb that will take you up to the top of this for you to come down. So there is another portion of Petra on the other side of where you're looking right now.
Okay.
Most people never go there though. This is usually where they go. Another look at the Sikh. We're getting closer to getting in.
Almost there.
Now you're on the other side of the Sikh looking back at it. So that gives you a feeling, if you look at how tall the people are there, and realize that what you see at the top of this slide, the picture, is still not at the top of the mountain area there.
Right.
And so a lot of people go here. It's one of the wonders of the world.
Yeah.
Like I take sometimes I go to Turkey. I always want to take people to Hierapolis, where they have the snow. They call them. The word is Pamukkale in Turkish, which refers to the idea of the whiteness. It looks like snow and stuff. It covers the entire area with hot water streams coming from underneath the earth. People get in there and sit and relax, and it's good for the body. But it looks like a snow-capped mountain. That's Hierapolis, or in Turkish, Pamukkale. So you have these wonders of the world. That's one. You only see one of those, and you always see one of these. There are some places that are unique, throughout the world to go to, and that's where this guy is standing on the left there that you can see. He's standing about where the beginning of the treasury is. That's about the distance between. I was there one time with one of my groups, and we had a couple that actually in the group. I think they actually said their wedding vows with a pastor right out there.
Oh.
And I'm not sure why they chose the place, but it's a unique place to, hey, how many people do it, right?
Absolutely.
Unique place to get married. Now we finally get to the place that Indiana Jones did all his work.
Yeah.
Now, you see certain things. One is that you see a camel. Surprise! There are
Yeah.
camels in their lands.
Just chilling.
Yeah, and can you imagine the work it took to carve into that mountain?
Wow.
Gosh, that's amazing.
That's what amazes me.
And it's all even. I mean, look, you could see that they're not, one is not higher than the other. It's pretty.
Yeah, isn't it cool? It's a nice structure, and I
Yeah,
realize
it is.
I would think it's probably the treasury or some kind of important building. It actually is a place they also had people buried.
Mm.
You can't see it now, and I hope I have my picture of it here. But as you look at those, you'll notice that to the right and to the left, if you pay very close attention, you'll see what looks like places you can get your hands and your fingers, and you can climb, with your feet and your fingers.
Yeah, no.
See, right to the right of each of the structures.
You mean on the rock itself?
Yeah, you forget the rocks on either side, just the building itself, and you'll see some little, looks like a path that people walked.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Oh, like little tracks going up the side. Yeah.
Going up the side. They're on both sides.
Yeah.
And if it's more obvious toward the top there.
Yeah.
People used to go up there and climb and look around.
Mm.
But also in the building that has the center
Mm-hmm.
and so forth, there's a lot of gunshots holes.
Gotcha.
People trying to not shoot at it, hopefully to make it collapse some, because they feel like it's a treasury, so there must be money somewhere.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever found it. Now you can see the size of the people in contrast to that too.
Yeah.
They don't look too big, do they? And so right underneath the structures,
Mm-hmm.
on the side you see people under the shade, and the camel out there in the open, and so forth. That's it's interesting to go into. You don't see many places like that, but it's not of the same kind. Now here, this is a better shot.
Yeah.
You can see the climbing where you have grab hold.
Mm-hmm.
You can also see, if you look very carefully at some of these things, if we get closer in, you'll see some gunshot
bullet holes.
Yeah, bullet holes. So this is what it's amazing what people do to try to find money.
Mm. Yeah.
But treasury is a name that they gained. It's not really one.
Okay.
Now that's at the very beginning. Oh, there you see it.
Oh,
See
yeah.
that?
I have a question.
What?
I have a question, if that's okay to interrupt really quick. As we're looking at this, we understand that in this time period, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, a Hellenistic period. It looks very, Greco-Roman, with Corinthian style columns. But these were a people group where there was a lot of trade coming through. So is this how they built this place? Because, you look at that and it's something you see in Greece.
Well, I understand why you're saying that. I don't. It has some features. In other words, it's well done. For like you might see in Greece or somewhere like that. But this is the area of what we later see, as Arabs and people that are, like that's where, in the days of the Exodus, for example, from Egypt, you're talking about people like Moabites and Ammonites and all these people up and down the way. You had Edomites. You have all these mites. Seriously.
Yeah.
You see in the Bible, all these ites.
Ites and mites. Yeah.
These are ites. They're the Edomites from Edom.
Mm-hmm.
But this land became eventually taken over what we think by the Nabateans. And you're moving down from the time of the second half of what we think of as the second millennium. It's a time after the Exodus, and it's going on into. Donald could probably help me on this, but the period is closer to the New Testament time, but it's older than the time of the Exodus into what we think of as Israel.
So that's super interesting then, because that negates the whole thing that this is purely, from a Hellenistic influence. So that's pretty mind blowing.
Well, it may have, and you may have me on that one. I really don't know if it was have Hellenistic influence. It may very well. The Greeks had a lot of influence throughout the world, as you know.
Right.
And so it could be that
Sure did.
I can't say that I've read on that to know about that.
Also, a comment here, maybe, I don't know your name, Colorado Caffeinated Crew, but perhaps, there was multiple times when they created structures, and so there's a hodgepodge there where, because I'm sitting looking like, where are all the places where everybody lived in these big societies? And I don't see anything. So maybe they were outside of the Sikh area and were just dwellings that are now all gone. And I don't see anything like Ephesus here. That's why I asked how deep this went and where were the big buildings? Where were the libraries? That kind of thing.
I'm going to run you into some of that. And by the way, thinking about what you'd said just a moment ago about the Greek influence, when you feel Alexander in the 4th century, I guess it was.
Yeah.
If you go into the Sikh not the Sikh, but into the area we're walking by all the tombs on the right, and you see a theater on the left, it looks very much like a Greek theater. So that's the point. Now that I'm thinking about this a little bit, and you make a left and go under it's a opening. It's a what would you call that if you build at the beginning of a building? I can't think right now.
Like a big portico or something.
Yeah, it's a gate of a sort.
Okay, entranceway.
Huh?
An entranceway of some sort.
Yeah, interest. There's another term I'm looking for.
A porch.
Yeah, like an arch. Yeah, it's an arch. And
a porch.
Place you. But anyway, to the left, after you turn under that and go to the left, you actually have a temple that's obviously in great need of work. It's basically been destroyed, but it has some of the structure of the Greek temples. I think you may have something there. I hadn't thought about that.
Possible. I think it came under Roman control around the beginning of the 2nd century, like 106.
It would have been
in
the 2nd century. It would have. Yes.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Right.
I have one more quick question about the columns, and this is just like a little, a puny question. If you're looking at the columns of the treasury, and I said Corinthian columns, but if you really look at what do they call the tops of them again? I can't remember. But it doesn't look exactly Corinthian. There is a difference. If you look at that.
It looks more. It has more Corinthian look though than you have Doric, Ionic, and
than the other ones. But it's not as scrolly. It looks different.
But if in our time period that we've been talking about, again, I haven't really spent the time to go do all the work on this that I probably need to talk more about it. But if you look at the tops, particularly the columns, not the things on the thing that's at the top, the columns. Those periods in Greek history, the Corinthian was sort of toward the end of the development of the columns and their configurations. You had earlier Doric, you had Ionic in the middle, and then you had Corinthian at top. And so, why is that Indiana Jones thing come on?
Well, this is someone who came in later and just noticed that this was in Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Always refers to that.
If you look at the top of the columns, those are really very close to the kind of Corinthian. I agree with you. It's not identical.
Right. They're more similar, but they're not quite.
The pieces on top of the columns are called capitals, by the way.
Ah.
Yes. Yeah. Capitals, just like the U.S. Capitol. Okay. Now, but I think you probably have something going there. It may be after the time of Alexander, and of course, by that time you've already developed quite a bit in the Greek culture.
Sure.
So
very elaborate, whatever it was. It was very elaborate. Nice. Beautiful.
They're we're very.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going.
Hey, there's the holes of the bullets.
There's the holes, and that's what I'm talking about. They kept thinking that they're going to get something, but they keep shooting at it.
Some big guns. Those are not small holes.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they're using guns, that means it's not in the time of the Greeks. Is that right?
Yeah, no. Probably not.
Okay, just checking you.
Safe
Now,
to say.
it's beautiful. That's inside
Wow.
that's inside the treasury.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's why I took the picture there, because that gives you a feel for the movement inside there. Now, this isn't like the tombs, for example, of the Jews
Right.
that are in Israel. It's similar though. If you go to Eco Biblique, where I spent time studying, that's the major studies system of one of the groups of the Roman Church. And I spent time there with the scholars and a lot of people who were there for worship. And so it's similar to this, though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have Eco Biblique. It's right where you have the garden tomb.
Right.
If you were to go into Eco Biblique and dig in just a little ways, maybe a foot or two, you'll be inside the garden tomb.
Mm.
That's where it's on the other side of the wall.
Right.
But they have buildings similar to this. New research explores Hellenistic Roman influences on Petra's treasury. Wow, that's great.
Mhm.
So where is that found? JordanTimes.com.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. Thank you for bringing our attention to that. Did someone do that?
Jeff did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff.
Jeff's
Great.
on it.
Thank you very much.
That's where he disappears to. He goes, checks things out.
But if you'll notice, there's an open area inside, and then these little things you see where it looks like little rooms
Doorways, yeah.
where they would bury the people.
Mm.
And they have an open area out there where, sort of like in the days of Jesus, you had to have a place to
Mhm.
do all the preparation and so forth before they put them into the tomb. And so this is an example of that.
Mm.
So read the article. Now we moved. That's that building. I couldn't figure out what it was.
Oh, there you go.
It's in ruins, as you can see. Nobody's
Yeah.
doing much there.
Kind of
So-
looks like a White Castle burger place, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, except a little bit on the yellow side, but yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all carved out of sandstone? That whole thing, it holding up that well?
Yeah.
I don't know much about stone.
Apparently.
And how it works, but I do know it's hard, but it's more brittle
Right.
than certain stone that I've been around. So apparently it's sufficient to build buildings with, but it crumbles more. Does anybody know? Somebody can maybe inform me.
Let's
Is
see.
stone?
It's sandstone and maybe some limestone, but looks to me like mostly sandstone and hard sandstone. There's different
Yeah. Right.
hardnesses of sandstone.
Okay, so it could be sandstone for sure. Then I thought it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sort of do this to it and so forth.
Yeah.
It seems that way. So you can see
Yeah.
all the places behind. Again, those are not homes to live in.
Yeah, it is sandstone. It says, according to this, it's soft enough to carve with ancient tools, yet durable enough to last over 2,000 years in
Wow.
a dry climate.
Okay, great,
So,
great.
so it has to be dry climate, otherwise
Yeah.
it wears off.
Keywords: dry climate.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
definitely fits.
This is all being recorded, and you will be found somewhere on my website. And so be sure and
Yeah, we'll hit you for royalties later.
before we move on, let me say something about that. Has anybody gone to my website at hwhouse.com?
I have.
Mhm.
Yes.
You'll notice all of these are taped and there for people to watch. And I think
Absolutely.
we're having a good time, aren't we? I love doing this with you. And we can learn, and I can learn, and we can see all these wonderful places. And so that's there to watch. I also have talks. I did a talk at an archaeological museum in California that's on there. I have spoken several times at some churches on archaeology stuff. So you may want to watch some of those on hwhouse.com. But also, just to let you know, we are, there is on the other side of the website, if you go to the hwhouse.com, this is all freebie. There are all the courses I taught in systematic theology with all the class periods of those courses. And you can do that without having to pay a dime. You can get training in theology all the way through systematics. And that's on the website. And now we have a new thing we're putting up. Of course, my Visual Study Bible. Anybody use my Visual Study Bible yet?
Mm-hmm.
I have it.
They're in there.
Going ahead on that pretty fast now. I'm expecting the New Testament to be in shape to we've almost got every book that we've had stuff in. We're very close.
Yeah.
A job to pursue a career in archaeology now. Oh boy, who put this up here? Is this something?
I did.
You did. That sounds like you.
Don't you know it?
Let me finish one other thing in my advertisement.
There you go.
But we're putting up another thing called Global Scripture Project, because what we're working to do now is take the stuff of the study Bible and share that with the entire world.
Awesome.
I was on a website with 8 different people from different countries, from Europe to the South, Mexico, all the way in Korea and other places. And the thing is, we're putting the Bible into that.
Mm.
The study notes will all be there because most of the world doesn't have all sorts of Bible study.
Mm.
And so what we're trying to do is they can see the videos, they can see the pictures, they can read devotions like Faber McMullen is doing for us right now. They're wonderful. And there are many other kinds of things available that we're going to make available to Russia and Germany and Mexico and South America and Korea. All these places I've already talked. We're working to have a global scripture project of giving people access to the tools to read the Bible and study it. So I hope that you'll take a look at that and mention it to your friends. That's all I'm going to say in the advertisement. But people need to know about it if they're going to be interested in it.
And the links are in the description below.
There you go.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to pass that on to you. We'll move on with the stuff, but I thought that was an appropriate time to talk to you about it.
Absolutely.
Okay, now see there again. Now that's an interesting place, by the way. If you climb up there, you see how they have it looks like the structures up with the columns and the entrances and so forth. That's a really cool place to go into. I've been there many times. You see some people to the right climbing the steps.
Barely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That room, and it is just beautiful inside with all the ways in which the sandstone has created some kind of mosaic of some sort. Just really nice. And looking at these things.
Wow.
Let's keep moving ahead.
Hey.
Now that's an animal.
Is that Sally the camel?
He's called a camel. Now, you know the difference between a camel and a dromedary.
Oh.
They're the same thing.
Camels tend to have 2 humps. Right?
Sally the camel had 2 humps, yeah.
One and there's
have
2.
1 hump.
Right.
So they are camel-like together.
That's right.
All right. I hope I have my camel picture that I thought I put in here.
Oh.
Anyway, that's a camel, but you can ride one of those all the way into Petra now.
Hey.
And you they're usually led by somebody,
Oh.
I had the privilege one time, and when I was in the Sinai, staying at St. Catherine's Monastery. I was near there, and I had a friend, a priest, who was there. And they had to climb all the way up. They had a place all the way up to the top of the mountains where you had the little places of worship that they had. That's in the day in which St. Catherine's, Catherine, the great, of Constantine's mother, was there. They built this wonderful monastery. And that's where it had major manuscripts of the Bible were there. That's the And so late at night, about midnight, I had my earplugs on, and I was listening to classical music, riding a camel all up the mountains, all the way toward the top, and then about 1,000 steps up after that to see the sunrise the next morning. That was a wonderful experience. If you ever get that opportunity, I encourage you. If you ride your camel, learn how to actually ride it. I didn't know how to ride it.
Oh.
You ride it, and then all the movement and the beauty. It was just fantastic experience. But you'd enjoy riding the camel at Petra too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's continue on. There he is. This is one of my favorite pictures at Petra.
He's drinking a Pepsi?
I don't know.
Are you serious?
I've got a story for you on this
Tell us.
particular animal.
Tell us.
At
Because
least he's not smoking a cigarette.
Right.
Well, it's almost just as bad.
I had a Pepsi can in my hand,
Uh-oh.
and that camel reached down and wanted it. I gave it to him.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
I hit back, and he drank it down,
Wow.
and then he got rid of it. But I thought, what a great picture. I wonder if I could sell that to Pepsi Cola.
Yeah.
To me, it's going to
A camel saying, "I'd walk a mile for a Pepsi."
Yeah. There you go.
Now, I've got to tell you the rest of the story. The same guy who had this camel told me that the preceding week he had actually drank a beer thing,
Uh-huh.
and a can of beer.
Oh.
So
No.
he's not altogether selective.
Then he gives them to the camel.
I don't think he smokes camel though. Okay.
Okay.
Now this is the opening, the arch we were talking about, the gate,
Oh,
the arch going into there, and you can see where we had been.
yeah.
And when you come to this place, now you're moving into a different portion of Petra.
Uh-huh.
If you were to look up at that point to the, what would that be? Look to the left, you would see there's a former. It's not a fully, it's some of it's crumbled in, but that's where a temple was to someone that looks Greek-like. And so,
Oh.
you guys were probably right about that. I hadn't even thought about that in talking about it, but yeah, you're right. Now,
Yeah.
you lead out of that, you can then climb steps actually to go where the monastery is, up in the taller areas. But it's a long climb up if you want to do it. It takes about an hour to do it.
Can you take
Camel up there? Can you what?
the camel?
I don't think camels go up there,
Oh, man.
especially if they've been drinking.
Yeah. And that was Indiana Jones's other brother, right?
Well, you're seeing farther ahead now. You're seeing where you've been. We're getting longer pictures,
Very good.
but the beautiful colors that mix in together.
Mm.
Got to watch my time.
Pretty open.
Now, what you're seeing there, though, is something different from what we've seen. Normally, people, when they go to Petra, they are taken down to a place that you actually have a big entrance to go into this place, and then you have the animals there, including the horses and so forth.
Mhm.
And then you have to go a ways, and they have a little place for buying things if you want to
Mhm.
buy something to drink or to eat or whatever,
Oh.
and even souvenirs and stuff. They have that. And then you come to the Seek. There's a sign that you saw at the very beginning.
Mhm.
It says Seek. I
Right.
had a guy going in there with me
Hmm.
into the Seek area, and he twisted his foot, and I think
Ooh.
and I had to leave there and take this guy up into the hills at another location to a doctor's office.
Oh, wow.
I happened to have cash on me because they did not take credit cards.
No. Oh, man.
But yeah, I had one guy that broke his foot walking in there.
Oof.
Now, this is but what you saw just a moment ago. Go back a moment. This is on the other side of what we think of as Petra.
Oh.
People go on the other side and they go in through the Seek and all that. This is actually on the other side of the mountain, so to speak.
Okay.
Interesting.
With me?
So it's
And-
behind that whole structures.
Yeah, that's what you're looking at.
Mm. It's a pretty fairly large open area.
It is a large area. It sure is. It shows
Wow.
you the kind of mountains lay up there.
Yeah.
Okay. let's
Is that a road or is that a watershed? Oh, that's a road.
Is
Yeah,
it
it's a road. No, it's just the colors of the road make it lighter.
Right. Well, and I'm seeing trees, so I was thinking there must be some water somewhere, but
Yeah, there are some trees.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? They have water because what happens for them in their places where they are going through the Seek? Remember we saw the water trail?
Mhm, channels,
Mhm.
Sure, they have water there during the time, and you have water also sometimes in the desert of Israel.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you have these trees. I do think it's interesting that they are so green, since it's not as though it's not like in Oregon,
mhm.
someplace.
Right.
You're moving into that area I told you about that's on the other side of all the things that people usually go to. See,
Mhm.
people usually go that narrow way, that way.
Mhm.
I've done that many, many, many times, but I decided to go on the other side of the mountain and look at it. And so I went down into this area. we drove down there. You can see certain people walking there, but all the way into a place that you have people that have shops selling things, and you have the entrance that actually takes you over to the other side if you want to go.
Wow. Very cool.
Mhm.
And see, these people, again, they're not at the, I don't think these people are at the Sikh. I think these people are still on that side I'm talking about. I could be wrong. I'd have to take a real good look at this.
Did they have like faces carved into that top stones up there?
They have what?
Did they have some kind of faces or something carved in those stones?
They look like
They look like, yeah.
And it may, I don't know. I never asked a person there.
Yeah, look like faces of some sort.
They sure do. They look like something's been carved, but I can't say that they do.
Yeah.
Now that is not, I don't think, the Sikh there. The reason I think it's on the other side, because it doesn't have the structure of what you see when you go through the Sikh.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that? I think that takes you into the place that you have a ladder, stone ladder, but climbing over into the other side.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's moving up.
I believe that's right.
Okay.
That's called Robbie Dean.
Oh.
And this is a person that was a student of mine in a doctoral program when I was teaching at Dallas Seminary. And he has a church up in, I guess it's down in that area, West Houston.
Mm.
He's gone on various tours. So he's a long-time friend of mine, and also Frederick McMullen, who's with us here.
Yeah, he was my counselor when I was a child in Christian camp in Central Texas. We were close. We went to church together.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Okay, and so moving on, and I have no idea who's on the left, but the right is a person that I went on a tour with their family, mother and brothers and various things like that. And we went on a tour together, and we not only went into Israel, but we also went into Jordan. It's not uncommon when I lead tours to Israel, if there's enough interest, that we have an extra couple of days or so in which we go down into Petra, and we look through it, spend the night, we come back, and then by that time you're ready to fly back to the United States. You go to the airport. But
nice.
But nonetheless, that's a look at it. Here are the steps that are leading up, as you can see, taking you to places that you can actually climb. Now that is actually, I think, though, on the other side of the mountain. That's on the side where they have the treasury. I believe that's correct.
Okay.
Correctly.
Whoa.
This is a theater.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you can see how they build it into the stone.
Yeah.
All Greek theaters throughout the Greek world are built into the mountainside. That's what they do. They create it out of the actual itself.
Mhm.
That one looks rather steep.
Huh?
Yeah.
That one in particular looks rather steep compared to the others. I mean, I could be wrong. This is
It is. Well, there are some that are fairly steep. I mean, even the one over in Ephesus is pretty steep.
Mm.
But this one is probably especially. And I mean, again, we're looking at this a couple thousand years or so later. I'm sure that at one time it was in better repair.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But all Greek oriented kind of communities in the ancient world had theaters. They were really big into that. And the Romans, they built them differently because they didn't build them into mountainsides.
Mm-mm.
They built them on somewhat like understructure stilts or something.
Yeah.
Actually you could actually walk around it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so this is clearly Greek art.
Probably takes a couple minutes to walk up and down, right? Maybe.
Oh, yes. And you can see how big it is. There was
Yeah.
a group of people there. For that.
About 5 seconds if you trip.
Okay. Yeah, right. Now there's a place again, which it's on one side and the other side.
Oh, there's the wall.
Yeah, you have a wall.
The old wall. And there's those plants, whatever it is.
Yes, the plants. They had water apparently. I mean, you had to have water.
They're getting it somewhere.
Right? You couldn't go without water to live.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they somehow stored it.
Interesting.
Continue. I'm looking at the time. Continue. Is that it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's
Oh,
another example of the openings into that's in fact that side is on the side that the theater is on, and also most of what I've shown you has been on. That's the side they're walking through the areas.
Hmm.
Again, thing those chairs and benches there on the left, those are not ancient; those are modern. For those of you wondering.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a question, an eschatological question here. Do you believe that the Jews will flee to Petra during the tribulation?
Well, it's not unlikely. I mean, it has been a place of that people actually fled to before. But the place, remember, up in northern Jordan, that also is a place of refuge. Anybody think of that? Because I can't. I know what it is, but I can't think of it. But I've passed by it more than one time going to Jordan. And I thought, I'm going to stop and look at that. I think it was Pella.
Oh.
And it's up north, close to the area of Jerish and so forth.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know what it was, and when I got out and walked in it, all of a sudden I saw below was a beautiful temple and all the things there. And that's Pella. That's where we normally think of people going to.
Yeah.
If in the time of tribulation or in the ancient days with the Romans came. A lot of people fled to Pella.
Okay.
Petra's a possibility. This is the area of the Nabateans from which Herod was connected.
Right.
That is the Sikh. You've seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
That's another wide view, just to give you a perspective. This is the long picture I took. We were driving up there, and I think, I'm going to get a picture from the outside here. And I took a picture of that for the distance. And it gives you a feel the area in which we're talking about. It's not everywhere that you see this. It's in that place where you have this major site.
Hmm.
It's a unique site. It's on the list of one of the wonders of the world.
Very wonderful.
That helps you to see the sides as you walk through and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Now be careful. I think that's where the guy broke his foot.
Oh no.
I'm joking.
Probably here.
Oh, the condominiums.
Yeah. The
Yes,
cliff dwellers.
They cost very little.
Sure.
You got to be stoned to live there, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is it.
Done.
That's
That was really fun to go through that with you. And
sure.
but I think next week we're going to take some time to go into Bethlehem and look at Church of Nativity, some things around there. Maybe take you to the places that help us to understand what was going on in the time of Christ in reference to the birth of Christ.
Awesome.
We'll take a look also and try to explain. I know I was on the phone one day with a very well-known professor, quite liberal, at the Jews seminar, and he and I were talking on the phone. And he was making a point that, evangelicals have a trouble because they can't understand that the Matthean and Lucan accounts of Christ's birth obviously indicate the incorrections in other words, the faultiness you have of the Bible and recording materials. So that you have conflict and contradiction between Matthew and Luke. I had to tell him, by the way, if you'll actually read the passages, it helps, because you'll find out that the Matthew deals with after Joseph, and probably almost a couple of years later, wise men were coming.
Right.
And what happened at the Church of the Nativity is actually where you had the birth that took place a couple of years earlier.
Right.
The wise men deal with one thing. As a matter of fact, in my creches I have with Christmas, I always have the place of the birth and the manger and Jesus and the angel, and the shepherds and all those things. And I always put my three wise men over farther down the table,
off to the side,
so it looks like they're coming. They get to there after Joseph, who was a tradesman. He was a construction man. He actually probably started working and providing for his family in the time period between the Nativity and the time of leaving with Herod's situation in the wise men.
Sure.
So
Makes
I
sense.
would,
Well, James and I are both kind of from the Chicago area, so we
Mhm.
don't really have wise men. We have wise guys.
Yeah. That's true. And they're not that wise either.
No, they're not. But they don't have really. Their names are kind of odd. They're sort of like Lefty and
Yeah.
that's so good. Well, you guys were very helpful tonight. I appreciate your input very much.
Anytime.
And so I hope you learned a few things and enjoyed that. And again, next week's going to be a wonderful week of talking about the birth of Christ,
Amen.
understanding of it, showing you how the actual houses were built a little bit, show you probably where Christ would have been, that how it would have worked.
Mhm.
It's also the place that Jerome, even though Augustine tried to convince him to take the Septuagint, the Greek Old Testament, and translate it in Latin, Jerome said, I don't want to do that. I want to translate it directly from the Hebrew. And he actually went to Bethlehem, moved into the place we're thinking of as the Church of Nativity, and actually spent a couple of decades or more, I can't remember exactly how far, but a couple decades or more, learning Hebrew from a Hebrew rabbi in Jerusalem. And he translated from the Latin into the Vulgate. That shows at least his dedication to try to go with the original manuscript.
Sure.
It's very nice.
Right.
And
Awesome.
I'll say some things about that, and I have some pictures. And so that will be a good thing for Christmas.
Mm.
Okay? Is everybody
All right.
able to be there, or are you going to be gone during that time?
I'll be there.
We'll be here.
Okay, good.
We're hanging.
I'm missing someone from Colorado here.
Well, you might be hearing
No.
somebody blowing their nose in the background.
Oh,
That's,
she's
sick.
that's MJ. She's a head cold.
Yeah, right. MJ is over. She's tuned in through the YouTube channel. So
Yeah.
So is my cousin Ruth. She
yeah,
just
cousin
running
Ruth is
behind.
over there too.
So we're ruthless.
I was worried because again I thought we were going to be ruthless tonight, but
And
no.
we are.
Oh, forget the wise man. We got wise guys right here.
It's kind of catchy.
All right. So say adios to everybody out there,
Adios.
and we
God
will
bless
return
us.
next week at
Christmas
8 o'clock
next
Central.
week.
Yes. We'll see you next time.
Great to have you.